Ladies and gentlemen, I got some bad news and I got some really good news. The bad news is the floors in my office still aren't done, so you're going to have to deal with a bit of an echo. The good news is today Modern Warfare 2 is officially revealed. The trailer is out and that is what we're going to be diving into in this video. But on top of that, I have seen and I have played a bunch of the game and I'm able to talk to you about it starting now. So I'm going to have some insight to the trailer that some other people won't that haven't seen the game. Things along those lines, especially in regards to gameplay. Later today, actually 3 hours from when this video goes live, we are going to be talking about everything to do with multiplayer and all of those details, gameplay information, things along those lines, gunsmith, create a class. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, have notifications turned on, subscribe, all of that jazz. Now, as far as this video goes, it's all about the trailer, it's all about the reveal. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So unfortunately, I can't actually show the full trailer. It'll be linked down in the description just because of copyrighted music. But the first thing that we see here is a character hanging upside down from a helicopter, pulls out a pistol and starts shooting at vehicles. Now you're going to see some vehicle destruction here that will be in multiplayer and in Warzone and things along those lines where you can shoot out tires, you can shoot off doors, things along those lines, and those things will actually interact in game. So that is something that you see in that very first clip there. So after this, we get a little clip of our first bad guy, General Hassan. And as far as he goes, he is working with Al-Qatala. We don't really know a backstory for him or anything along those lines. I'm sure we'll find out more in the campaign. But there's two characters talking here. Number one, Kate Laswell. The second one, I am not sure, is General Shepard. I don't totally recognize the voice, and it's probably a different voice actor if it is General Shepard. Now, they then say that General Hassan is not in Iran, and then ask the question, who will they send after him? This is when we get our first look at Task Force 141. So the first character that we see is, of course, Captain Price in the shadows holding a pistol with the bucket hat on. This is then followed up by Gaz, aka Kyle Garrick, who's kind of his right-hand man within Modern Warfare 2019. This is then followed up by Soap McTavish, another newer member of Task Force 141 who was introduced at the end of Warzone, followed up by the man himself, Ghost. This is seemingly going to be one of the main characters in the game as he's on a lot of the cover art and things along those lines. Now, I can give you a little bit more information on this cutscene because it's a mission that we actually got to see when I went to Infinity Ward. This is a mission called Wet Work, not the one from Call of Duty 4, and it is played by Captain Price and Kyle Garrick. This is one of those sneaky missions, but it takes place in the water. You sneak underneath water, knife people, and it takes place in Amsterdam. I will go a little bit more in depth with that in a video that I have coming out tomorrow. But essentially, that's the backstory behind this cutscene. This was another mission that we saw called Night War. Inside that helicopter, there's two teams, Bravo team and Alpha team. Bravo team consisting of Ghost and Soap McTavish. They are landing in an area to take out General Hassan. It's a pretty cool scene, and you get a pretty cool interaction with Ghost and Soap. Bravo team, which consists of Ghost and Soap, lands. Alpha team keeps on going. Alpha team then gets shot down. Bravo team has to go rescue them. Now you then get to see a couple of more shots from inside the helicopter before our characters jump on outside. Now after this is where things get a little bit more interesting, and you get to see a few other characters and situations that need a little bit more explanation. So just shortly after this, after our helicopter takes off, we get our first look at night vision, looking very photorealistic. The beginning of that mission that we saw was in night vision. Now this part we didn't actually get to see. This is once again Ghost. But then after this, we get another look at some missions that we saw before. The first of which, as you pull the character into the water, is from Wet Work, that mission that we talked about earlier. You can also see some of the water mechanics right there. Swimming is in the game and will be in all game modes, so expect it in Warzone, multiplayer, things along those lines. After this, we get our first shot of boats. So yes, boats are going to be in the game, and we get a couple of new characters there, Soap and another character by the name of Commander Philip Graves. Now we can see a mission on a boat here. We have Ghost there, but when we get another look at Commander Philip Graves, I'll point it out, but what he is the commander of Shadow Company. So yes, Shadow Company is making a return. We briefly saw them within one of the Warzone seasons as they came into Verdansk. Other than than that, there wasn't really much talk about them. However, they will be making a return and playing a rather large part in Modern Warfare 2. Now after this is a section that I didn't really get to see. They're looking inside of a shipping container here. It is glowing green. Assumably, this is some sort of radioactive material. Not 100% sure what's going on there. So after this, we then have some soldiers walking in the dark, followed up by what appears to be a helicopter, shooting some bullets down upon the enemies. Chopper gunners assumably will be returning from what we are seeing here. Just a guess though. One thing I can tell you is that choppers in this game, you can actually get out and walk around in the back of them and shoot out of the back of them and play as your character inside there. Now this is going back to that Night War mission. That is where your team is shot down out of the sky. The next thing that we see here is tanks. This is not something that they talked very much at with the briefing. Now, after this, we go to a desert mission where we have Kyle Garrick in the background there. You have Kate Laswell and Captain Price in the front. An important thing of note is Kate Laswell has now dyed her hair. She is now a brunette, will be absolutely game-changing. Aside from this, though, we go to some more night vision shots. You can see looks pretty photorealistic, which is crazy. Then we have Ghost firing some weapons. You can see tracers. That is one thing I noticed from the gameplay that we saw, is that there's a lot of tracers, a lot of bullet tracers, especially when you're playing in those missions at night. You'll see bullets flying everywhere. It looks really, really cool. Now this next scene as they are walking up the steps, this is one that we didn't get to see any gameplay of, but out in the front there you have Commander Philip Graves. He is the one that I was talking about, is the leader of Shadow Company. The other character who you might briefly see in this trailer is Alejandro Vargas. He works for the Mexican Special Forces, and he is another new character coming into this game. Now these shots here, as you can see Ghost with the building in the background, our character laying on the ground, it looks like Commander Philip Graves there. This is missions that we did not get to see, so I don't know exactly what is going on with those. And then our last shot here, probably my favorite shot, we have Captain Price out front, So McTavish on the left, Commander Philip Graves, Kyle Garrick behind him, and then Ghost bringing up the rear. Absolutely amazing team, and that is of course our Task Force 141 going into the release. Now basically what this tells us is the release date, which is of course October 28th. But other than that, it also tells us that there is an open beta for the game. It doesn't give us any dates for the open beta and doesn't mention an alpha whatsoever. So what that means for both of those at this point is essentially up in the air. We know that there is going to be an open beta. We just don't know when it is going to be. But all in all, a pretty amazing trailer. Hopefully I was able to fill in some gaps and some information for you guys. The only bad guy that we saw in the trailer is General Hassan. We don't know if he's the main bad guy, if there's other ones. Oftentimes in Modern Warfare games, there's a couple of different bad guys. My prediction from yesterday is that General Shepard will still go evil, but again, that's completely up in the air. That's nothing that I saw at the studio or anything like that. Just a complete guess. But that is the trailer. At this point, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Let me know down in the comments. In 3 hours from now, I have multiplayer details coming up on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe, have notifications on. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are